So for this tutorial, we're going to create a watermark for you to use on your photos. Now, if you see that my Photoshop looks a little different than yours, that's because I'm running in the new CC, which has a completely different kind of interface than what yours looks like. You will see that I've pulled up my most recent watermark, and you will notice it's quite large. If you see the ruler at top, it is almost 17 inches wide and 5 inches tall. The reason that is because this was made from a different document that I had made earlier that was quite large, and I just never resized it. So, and it works just fine. Especially when you place an object, as long as you have the right setting on, it will scale that dimension down. So this won't be huge on like an 8 by 10. So we're going to create this as a ping document. So you'll notice that my background is checkerboard. That resonates as white or black or whatever color you put it on. It is clear. My layer is simply the image that you see. It is reduced to, it is reduced to one layer, layer 0. We are going to go up to File, and actually I opened up Safari. Go up to File, and we're going to go to New. Now when you do this, you got to think about what size you want to create your image as. Do you want a square? Do you want a rectangle? Do you want something very long and panoramic like mine is? That is completely up to you. You can put in whatever size you actually want. If you're unsure of what you want, I would put in a 7 by 5 to begin with. You can always reduce that down to 5 by 5 if you would prefer a square. You can do anything you want with that. It's a really good thing to play with. So let's just switch to inches here real quick. And let's do a width of 7 and a height of 5. Unless you wanted something very tall, then you would switch it. And you only need a resolution of about 200. That'll work really nicely. And then you want your background contents to be transparent. We do not want a colored background. You can put one in just to see, and I'll show you that in a minute if you want to know what's going on and what it looks like with a white background. But hardly ever is it actually going to be on a white background. And then we're going to press OK, and you're going to get an image that looks like this. Let me zoom out a little bit. So what you need to decide now is you need to decide what you're going to use. Are you going to use what font you're going to use, how you're going to place it, what brushes you're going to use, etc., etc. I am going to go up to here, and I'm going to go over to my brush, and I'm going to grab a new brush, and your brushes are under your settings. These are your standard brushes that are boring, and then these underneath the line will be all the brushes that you have downloaded. You can notice that I have tons. I'm going to use DC Comics, and I'm going to do something kind of fun. When it comes up with replace the current brushes with the brushes from DC Comics, you press OK. And I have mine as a list, and it's a small list, which I haven't switched. Oh, it is a large list. You could also do it as a large thumbnail, and then it kind of shows you what you want in here. So there is a Wonder Woman one, and I'm going to use the Wonder Woman, and I'm going to stamp her on there. And she is a little angled, and I don't want her angled, but I'll just transform her later. Command T, free transforms. If you want to resize that, I'm going to resize it just a little bit. And notice that I'm not really able to see what's going on in my brush because of the transparent background. So I'm going to go under here to layers, and I'm going to create a new layer. And then I'm going to drag that below. I'm going to fill it white. Command backspace or delete will fill it white. Now I see what that is. This will eventually just get deleted. Now I see that I have Wonder Woman here. And then I'm going to pick my text. And I actually have a comic. Oh, we're initializing the type tool. Now type creates its own layer automatically. I can go up here and I can find whichever one I'm looking for. I can also go in and open up my character, Jack and the Beanstalk. If you do not have that little A, you can go up to window and you can go down and make sure character is checked. I don't want Jack. I'll just start with Jack and the Beanstalk. And you just click. You don't draw a box and then you type. Now, you're saying, Mrs. Reilly, that's not all the same font. No, it's not all the same font, and mine's really close together because the font that I chose did not have things like periods or any sort of punctuation. So it defaults to the default font, and then everything after that would be that font. So I don't want Jack and the Beanstalk. And I don't want it to be this close together, so I'm going to go to auto. And now it's really far apart. I'll fix that later. I'm going to go in here and find a font that I want. It's really not the font I'm looking for. I have a comic font. I wonder if it is a D font. Let's go find it. Comics Loud right here. Now, it only did the first ones, so I probably have to capitalize all of it. So I'm going to highlight all of this, and that's weird. I'm just going to leave it like this for right now. And I don't want it quite that big. I can also resize type. Command T will resize whatever you want. And I might want it to make sense. Photos. Please write me a song. Not quite as wondrous as I want it to be. Go back up now that it's all capital and see if that will actually work. I have a lot of fonts as well. About as much fonts as I have. Still didn't work. You don't need to see me go through all of this. So then you can go from there and you can add lots of cool stuff to it. If you go to your layers and you go into this FX, you can go into blending options, and then you can add layer styles to it. You can do a gradient overlay. So then you can pick colors within that. I like to put a stroke around that, sometimes white, sometimes blue. I don't mind doing a little outer glow or inner glow as well. You could change the color of my Wonder Woman. I could change her as well. I'm just going to press OK for now. And then I am going to merge these layers together once I have it exactly how I want it. I'm going to Command E, which will merge them together. I am going to delete this. And then I'm going to crop this down to the actual size I want it and not too much bigger. So I'm just going to do use the rectangular marquee tool, and then I'm going to just go to crop. And now I'm going to go to File, Save As. And I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to save it as a PNG. Save it somewhere where you can easily find it, and save it as like Watermark. 3. Click Save. That's okay. And now you have your cool watermark done.